Welcome to the January 22nd, 2019 edition of the Zoning Board of Appeals, where we will hear a couple of items this evening. Damian Battinelli, 2 items, Joel Chase, 1 item. You're both here. I will tell you that we have 4 members here. We're normally a 5-person board. Any motion to be carried requires 3 positive votes. If you feel for some reason like you want to wait till there are 5 people and take a chance as to when that would be. No, but anyway, you're more than welcome to. If we start and at some point you go, I don't like how this is going, wait, stop. You can stop and we'll postpone. I don't particularly, I don't see much of an issue, frankly, with anything. So, but I'm just letting you know that normal, full board is 5 participating members. We're supposed to have 5 regular and 2 alternate members. We have a total of 5. 1 is out of town. So that's the story. If you want to postpone, feel free. No? No? You're all set. Okay, Damien, come on up. Have a seat. How you doing?
I have cold.
It's cold in here.
Stay right there then.
Okay. I just want to say that I do know Damien. Okay?
Okay.
Hi, Damien.
Hi, Ron.
So, I'll explain to you exactly where you're at, if I may. We have 2 applications from you. One is for a special use permit, which is theoretically a matter of right, unless you're going to really impact the neighborhood. And the second one is an area variance, because of parking, even though the parking is exactly the same as it's always been there. They're treated separately as things. You have 2 separate applications. They have 2 separate seekers, environmental quality review things. And we will take them in the order that they are on the agenda, which the first one is the, I just want to make sure I have the right one. The first one is the special use permit. A special use permit is based on the fact that in the zoning regulations at the back, there's an area use chart. Would have been helpful to know this before you purchased the building, just so you would have known this, but anyway. And that table lists all the uses by district that are allowed, and you're in an R2 district, and so if you go to that table, under the district, permitted, accessory, and uses required special permit, you'll see that in an R2 district, there are all kinds of uses that are allowed, residential uses and all this and that, but when we get to R2, and I'll just go to that, so, what it says is that offices require a special permit, okay? Universities, neighborhood and convenience, commercial facilities, cemeteries, private club, nursing and rest homes, funeral homes, professional offices. It used to be that we looked at professional offices to be only doctors and lawyers, because doctors and lawyers, pardon me, but think they're only professional people. But we've now expanded that. We've now expanded that to say people that have a similar impact or type of activity, insurance agencies, things like that. Your creative agency falls under that, and the offices for the radio station, because we understand there's not really any transmission, there's no tower or anything, fall under that same aspect. It's an office where it's managed, where you manage your business and carry out your tasks, whether it's selling goods. You're certainly going to have, I would assume, less client visits than a dentist office.
Oh, yes.
Right. So, anyway, that's the special use permit part. I think we understand what you do. Does anybody have questions about it at all? If not, I'd like to do the seeker, which is the long form seeker. This is one that requires a motion But anyway, I think that approving, you're not really getting a building, you're not renovating, you're not getting a building permit, correct? Joe says it is only the zoning board that has approval on this secret.
That's
Right? For the special use permit. And I had examined this, I couldn't find anything because it's not even an expansion of an existing use as far as office or apartments. Apartments are remaining the same, office space is staying exactly the same. So, I had looked through this fairly extensively. Unless I missed something, I didn't see anything on it that was not answered correctly.
Section B,
What page?
page 2. I, coastal resources wasn't answered. Should at least be checked, no, no, no.
What's that?
And all those would have to be checked now too, that's what I was thinking I was gonna.
Oh. And
A through I.
Kathleen just brought up A through I should, or A through H should be checked no, except for C. Basically, if there's a yes, no, it should be yes or no.
You think the rest should be checked, no, is that what you're
Right.
saying?
Yes.
That's fine. Okay, so we will all change, or at least I will on the official one I turn back to her, that to no. Does anybody else have any other questions
I'm gonna skip those.
about this?
Non-applicable.
And if not, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion that the proposed use will not result in any significant adverse environmental impact.
Seconded by Steve, all in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Aye, so that's the seeker. Now, the special use permit, which is a matter of right for the offices. And this is appeal number, pardon me,
2189.
2189. And I'm looking for a motion regarding the special use permit to approve it. Again, this would be, by the way, let's be clear, this would be for this, in Tandem Productions and their tenant, and their tenants. Do you have more than one tenant? Will you have more than one tenant? Huh?
Yeah, first floor.
It's commercial tenants. Right, so, and their tenant, right, and we want to say it's specific for that, so as you asked downstairs, in the future, any other business that went in there would ask for special use.
I mean, should we specify the type
The
of
use.
business, the use itself?
It's office space, up to you, however you want to say it.
Any professional office requires a special use permit. So if they were to leave and a new professional office comes in, they need a special use permit. Whether you guys,
Right,
So you
right,
guys
yeah,
need-
I don't, I think we should say the owner and their present tenant, something like that. I don't care, I can't make the motion, or else I would.
How does it read? Just professional offices?
Huh?
Is that all we're,
No, say that again?
How does it read? The
how does it
use
read in
was-
the,
Oh, in the use thing,
yeah,
in the chart at the end?
Yep.
It just says professional offices. The allowed use is professional office by special permit. Under R2. It is,
Professional offices.
yeah.
if it was
So-
a use variance, a variance would stay with the property, and then the next use that came in, if it was under that same, if it was the same use, wouldn't need a new variance. But with a special use permit, every new use requires the same.
But we're-
review. Requires the same review that you're giving this one, right?
Actually, I'm gonna say that it's really them.
okay.
It's not, doesn't matter, if they're renting out space to other people, that, in other words, they've already said, what if in a year another tenant comes in, it's still, they're the owners of the building. They're not even the tenant, they're the owner of the building.
But the use is changing. their tenant's use is changing.
then they would have to
If
come
it
back for a
changes, yeah,
special use permit for
could
that.
be another professional. If it's another professional office use, they wouldn't need, even if it was a different tenant,
But
right?
let's say that in a year, the other tenant leaves, okay? And they decide, we've grown, we're gonna keep all the space for ourselves. They would need a special use permit then.
What if they decide to lease out that other to, say, a lawyer? You know, some-
I don't
or
know,
some
I
other
don't think we have
bottom feeder.
control of that. I don't believe we have control of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure I understood that that's what you were talking. I thought if they left and took their whole business, the next new office would require a special use permit. But you're talking about within their business, if they rent a room to another professional office, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter whether they own it or rent it.
Right.
You know,
I
we're
guess what I
giving
would say
approval
is
to
that-
two specific
So use.
uses.
I would say that would fall under,
Right.
that would fall back to me to determine whether what's going on there meets the spirit of what was approved.
Right, I
Okay.
agree.
You're not retiring anytime soon, are you?
Right. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion regarding Appeal 2189 to approve the special use permit for professional offices.
You're just approving the seeker?
No, we already
We did
approved the
that.
We
secret.
did the secret.
Did you open it to the audience?
No, we did not.
I'm sorry. Oh, no, we don't open this.
Seeker?
Didn't open the secret, but we don't. Does anybody in the audience have a comment regarding this?
I'm sorry I came late. I just want, could somebody clarify what they're doing?
They're having offices in Dr. Klein's office,
No, I understand that, but what are you doing as a business?
raising dogs. Raising dogs, it's a
Yeah, yeah,
kennel.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
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 I just wanna
they're a
clarify
media
that.
company.
Yeah, you just want them to explain that they're.
Yeah.
We're a creative agency, we do graphic
Media.
design, photography, video productions, mostly on-site work. And we just use that space mainly for office space for our computers and to things like that.
So, because I wanted to clarify, because somebody had told me that you were thinking of making a radio station there. I was just curious.
There are offices for a radio station there. There's no transmitter there or anything.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to clarify. There's not gonna be any transmitter on site.
Nope.
There's not gonna be any loud noise emitted, not that that corner would matter.
No, there's not. It's gonna be like any other professional office. It's offices.
Okay, and I already know your business, I just didn't know if you
Yeah.
said you walking it up, but.
The radio station has changed since the mid-2000s where it's now digital. So it's the use of towers and what we're kind of used to back in the day is no longer a thing. It's using the same type of transmission as you would this YouTube channel.
Right.
It's
There's
all
no
through-
transmission.
All through the
No
internet.
transmission tower on site,
Right.
and you're keeping like, there's no footprint of the apartments upstairs are not changing, there's no increase.
There's no
in
change to the
occupancy
footprint of
or
anything.
Whatever of that, and so you're having another office, and this would be primarily day use, so parking is not an issue, right?
Right, well, there's a parking variance, but it's the same pre-existing parking that they had before. In other words, it's the same amount of professional office space and the same amount of apartments, so they have the same parking requirements that they've had for years, but to be safe about it, because you're getting a special use permit, we felt it was wise to also renew the pre-existing non-conforming parking use.
And how many vehicles, because you're primarily using 3/4 of the space, I'm assuming, for your business?
We use about half of the space on the first floor.
And so your employees or day employees, there's not going to be anybody living there at night, right? It's just all on that first floor, so it's going to all
Right,
be.
and it's gonna be far less impact than a dental office.
Right, that's what I was just getting to. There's probably going
Right.
to be less parking issue.
Right,
than-
yeah, by far, yeah.
Yeah.
With the
yeah.
radio station, we've determined anywhere from 5 to 7 cars that are parked during the day only.
So,
Okay,
Yeah. I'm
all right.
fine.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you for reminding me. I'm closing the public hearing portion now. Now I'm looking for a motion regarding a special use permit. Who's doing it?
I'll make a motion in regards to Appeal 2189 for Damian Battinelli to grant a special use permit to operate professional offices out of 43 Broad Street. First floor only.
Done?
Okay.
I'll second.
Second by Kathleen.
Yep.
Okay, so a yes vote on your slips is to approve. This is the special use permit. And yes, 4 yes votes, that's special use permit. Now, we're going to the, sorry, the parking variance. And again, this is, Joe and I talked about this, it's pretty good to, it's exactly the same parking use as was there, but because you're changing ownership in business, it's probably good to reinforce it. The required spaces before and now were 16, and the existing spaces are 14, is that correct?
That's right.
So you have a deficiency of 2, it's been like that. You're not changing the number of apartments, the layout of the apartments, you're not physically doing anything to the building, you're using it exactly the same way. So it should be less impact, I would say, on that. We have a seeker to do. Well, first I'll open this up. Anybody in the audience do you have a comment?
I just meant to ask a question about the other, the basement is not gonna be used for any, what is the basement gonna be? Because Dr. Klein had started to use that space, so just wondered, is
The
it
basement
storage?
is our break area currently with storage.
But it's never gonna have any office or any kind of usage other than your, okay.
Well,
Just wanted to
then
clarify
they'd
that.
have, they would increase the if they increase the amount of commercial space, you'd have to come back for another variance.
I understand that, I'm just bringing it to the board's attention that Dr. Klein had done some renovation downstairs, so I didn't know their intent for that basement or lower level.
Right.
So
It's
you're
being
saying-
used the same way it was when Dr. Klein had an office there. Storage.
From what I understand, they use it as a break area as well.
Yeah.
You what?
They use it as a break area as well.
Right.
It's just-
So, it's the same deficiency for the commercial space still as it was used before. It's being used the same way, no more anyway, correct? Right. Okay. Any other questions from the audience? Okay, I'm gonna close the public hearing portion regarding the parking variance. We have a short form seeker. And again, I think it is only the ZBA here because they're not getting a building permit for anything. I went through this and I didn't find, other than, you know, the archaeological and oil spills, no,
Yeah,
I didn't find anything.
12B needs to be checked no.
What is it?
12B should be checked no, unless you want to consider, I mean, the Creamy B used to be right near there, that could be, that might be
They
archaeologically
should both be
sensitive.
no, correct?
You don't, oh,
I remember.
What's that?
of course you would. The Creamy B?
Huh?
The Creamy B.
Oh, yeah.
Is it an ice cream shop?
But
It was
that's-
ice cream,
I
like
guess-
Michigan's,
Oh
Great
my God,
Michigan's.
wow.
Where was that?
When did that?
It was
so
right,
You remember that?
Well,
It was maybe the parking lot or right behind the parking
It was
lot?
Altamont.
No,
Oh,
the
Altamont.
Altamont was
It's
down where
further down.
Vazano's is.
Yeah.
Wow.
That, but the Creamy
It's
B was
further
right
down.
there.
It's reaching
The
way
Altamont was
back.
further
I
down.
mean, when the
Yeah,
fire
Altamont
occurred in the
was
middle
there.
school and we didn't have a cafeteria, we had 90 minutes for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Or
in
70
high school we
minutes
had
and
that.
we'd go there for lunch every day.
In high school, we had that, we went downtown.
Yeah.
90 minutes for lunch.
For Woolworths.
Anyway, if not, I'm looking for a motion regarding this that I can check all the boxes
I'll
and,
make a motion that, for, one moment. For appeal number, what is the appeal number?
2190.
For appeal number
who,
2190.
did anybody
I'm
sec-
making a motion.
Oh, I didn't,
Yeah.
sorry.
After review of the short form seeker, that the Chair, check no or small impact may occur for items 1 through 11 of Part 2 and sign. Below on page 4, checking the box that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impact.
Good, second for Scott.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, that's passed. Now regarding the parking, I'm looking for a motion. This is Appeal 2190. A yes vote is to approve.
I'll make a motion in regards to Appeal 2190 for 43 Broad Street for a parking deficiency of 2 spots where it's required to have 16 and they only have 14. And a yes vote is to grant the variance.
I'll second.
Seconded by Kathleen. And we have 4 yes votes. You're all set. Your parking variance, special use permit.
Thanks, everybody.
You're all, thank you for participating in the process. Fun, huh?
Yeah.
See you later. Okay. Joel, come on down. Okay, this is Joel Chase, 15 West Court Street. Where are you in relation to Gallagher's?
They are on the corner of Draper.
I know where they are, but you're up,
I'm in the middle.
you're in the
right
middle,
now.
right? To be honest, I was trying to drive by it, I thought we could do it Sunday, and I had a little snow issues, that's,
Everybody did.
that's okay. This is for an addition, on the back of the house. As discussed in the pre-meeting, there is a side yard deficiency because it's a deed deficiency, and so he needs 81% of each side and 81% of the total. He needs 25 feet originally, so he needs 20.1 feet, whatever it is. He's providing 21.1 feet. So the total width is okay, and he certainly meets it on the other side. But he does not meet it on the 10-foot side, but he's carrying back in a straight line. The house is not aggravating. And the coverage issue is going from 21 to 33. What's required, Joe?
25%.
25%. So he's going from under to over. He did not exceed it originally. We have a seeker. It's a single story with a basement, 17 by 39 addition. And a porch on the back, right?
Correct.
That covered?
Correct.
Right. We have a short form seeker. Any comments from the public?
Yeah, I would just say that I know the board is gonna keep in mind that, that everybody's gonna start to ask for,
Yeah.
variances. So how much is he deficient in total for open space?
5%. I'm sorry, I take that back, 8%.
Actually, that's not
Huh?
open space. It's not
Oh,
an open
oh.
space.
It's not open space,
It's
it's building
lot
coverage.
coverage.
It's lot coverage, okay.
Yeah, so building coverage.
How much is he deficient?
8%, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
all the houses there are pretty close,
Yeah.
and it's tough.
There's not
You
much-
Go back and forth.
There's not
and
much else you can do, so.
And you give up 2 feet, but,
Right. Any other question? Anybody else? Did you have any comments? No? Do you think it's a good idea? You think it's a good idea?
I'm away from my sister.
Thank you.
Boiled it
All right.
down
Sums it up right there.
to the essence of
I'm
the
closing the public hearing portion. I'd like to do the seeker. I did notice that, number 2 should be yes. ZBA and building permit. And, actually, on 5, it's not permitted under zoning regulations, but it's consistent, it is consistent with the adopted rate. It can be not permitted, but still consistent with the comprehensive plan. Anyway, does anybody have any questions regarding the seeker? I don't think you're really expanding use of water or anything. If not, I'm looking for a motion on the seeker.
I'll make a motion in regards to Appeal 2191, the short environmental assessment form, that after review of Part 1,
I'm missing the last page of it, so I have to sign.
that in Part 2, questions 1 through 11 be checked. Let me get the other.
10, 11.
No or small impact may occur, and as a result of that, in Part 3, I grabbed the wrong one. Checkbox 2, that there we are,
Okay.
that the action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impact.
And then I can do this, right?
Yeah.
Seconded by, thanks, Steve. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? No. All right. I'm looking for a motion regarding the area variance. Both or, this is to approve the side yard and coverage. The side yard is 3.1 feet, and the coverage is 8%.
I will make a motion in regards to Appeal 2191 for Joel Chase at 15 West Court Street to grant a variance for the area exceeding the required by 8%, the maximum required, and to violate the side yard setback by 3.1 feet for a distance of 17 feet, as shown on the plans. In addition, a stipulation that the porch not be enclosed.
I have no intent to do that.
Okay.
A second.
Okay, you got an answer on the slips. What is it, 20? Yes vote is to approve. Okay, 4 yes votes, you're all set. Thanks for participating. I think it was probably pretty fascinating. What do you think? Did you like that? Hey, would you like to be on the zoning board? You want to be on the board?
How old are you?
I don't
How
know,
many years?
is there an age requirement, Joe? Hello.
Testing.
Hey, thank you very much. Joe, you're all
I don't think
set?
that's on.
Testing.
Have a good day.
She can go back and watch it
Hey,
online.
what school do you go to?
Oak Street,
Oak Street?
Good school.
What grade are you in?
4th.
Are you living with my grandson, Bennett? DeDominicus? You're in 4th grade?
Yeah.
Oak Street, he just won the spelling bee.
Oh, yeah, he did. He's in Miss Edmonds.
Yeah. See ya.
She's tough. Mrs. Stephanie.
She's here,
Yeah, I heard that.
yeah, pretty
No,
neat.
because
She's a
we
tough
have
teacher.
undersized,
She's a
we
tough
took the
teacher.
measurements.
Yeah.
The percentage doesn't drop either? or
No.
Okay.
That's
Because it's a
counter-
percentage of total.
Um,
It's all right.
You know what Carol was here?
I was, because when
You know
you
what
said that, I was
It's-
like, wait a second.
It's not.
You know why Carol was
Number.
here?
Do I know why Carol was here? The special use.
Yeah, I know.
The special use permit was at
I would
500
believe
feet.
that her friend told her.
What's that?
I think her friend told her.
Oh, maybe.
It was in the paper too.
Huh?
It's in the paper.
Yeah, but
I mean,
No, I-
Not about the radio
I have a
station.
feeling that,
not about the radio station, wasn't it?
oh, you're right, that was not in there.
That's right.
Leak, there's a leak.
Okay, before we turn these off and chat.
We have
clearly,
some minutes.
Thanks for the calendar. And
Have you
it's
looked at the minutes?
5:20 as we see, we're all set.
Look at the minutes.
But thank you, really.
Well, you're just
Yeah, I've
looking
been
at them?
doing well.
I'm just looking at them. Come and clean, keeping it real.
And there's plus.
You did, look
Did
at
I
that
have some-
official seal.
They're in there,
So I
okay.
had to renew my passport because it
Let's
expires
do
in
the
June.
minutes.
It says 6 months.
Yeah.
Came fast.
We have
Yes.
September
Paid for the expedite. It was
meeting
like a
minutes.
week and a half. It was crazy.
Actually, if you go
How
to
come
St.
we have
Albans, you can get
September
them in
ones?
a couple days.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
but you have to get an appointment.
Mm.
We have September and
I remember
November.
that.
We did October before.
I'll make a motion in regards to the meeting minutes of September 17th, 2018, to approve them as written.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a majority, huh? We have a quorum
I'm gonna fill these in.
of the people that were here.
oh, can we?
We have three, we have three of
Yeah,
us
we
out
have
of
three of
five,
us.
right? So-
I'm just gonna sign it.
Yep, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so that's all the meeting minutes, right?
I'll move that we approve the November 19, 2018. I'll move to approve the November 2018 minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Why do I have an
Um,
agenda for October in here? Just curious.
Do we have any other business? Okay,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
second.
seconded by Steve. All in favor?
Thanks, Steve.
Aye. 7:35.
I mean, I couldn't
Not
tell you
bad,
how big I
right?
have that.
7:35, I could have had Blue Apron tonight.